So if you look at the example in the middle of the paper, let's say we want to calculate A. What two sides do I know in reference to A? Opposite and hypotenuse. Which trig ratio uses O and H? Sine. So I'm looking for the angle, so I do sine inverse of 8 over 11, and that will tell me the value of A. So second sine inverse of 8/11, 46.6. What if I doubled the triangle? Sine inverse of 16 over 22. It's going to give me the same ratio, because as long as the sides are proportional, the angle doesn't change. Well, what is 8/11? If I did the inverse sine of 0.72, that's close, but it's not the same. Right. I rounded the decimal. So when you're doing problems in trig, and really any other problem, you want to do as little rounding as possible until the very end, and then round your answer. So if I were going to use that decimal, I would need to type it all in. And I think if you hit 9 spots, you're okay. After that, it's not going to matter. And notice those are exactly the same. Well, the one above it. Okay? So my recommendation is just use the fraction. It's a little bit easier. Okay. It was 46 degrees. So if A is 46.65, how do we find B? I could do 90 minus the answer, or I could switch angles, move my theta from A to B, and use the cosine. And these two answers should be exactly the same. Okay? All right, here you have a diagram. So we're going to give you this diagram. You see eye sight distance, eye level, the distance from the ground to the eye, the length of the ground, and the height of the wall. Now, wall might be in terms of a tree, or the ceiling, or something else. It depends on the problem. If you know two of these lengths, then you can find the angle, and that's your job for today. Yeah, all you're looking for is theta. And sometimes there's extra information that you don't need. So look at number 1. Eye sight is the hypotenuse. Eye height is the height from the ground to your eye. Yeah. So this is saying if you are finding the height of a doorway, the ground is 9 feet, and the ceiling, assuming that the door ends at the ceiling, I guess, is 10 feet 10 inches. And your eye level is 65 inches. Well, immediately I see I have inches and feet, so I might as well just convert everything to inches. So in inches, 9 times 12 is 108 inches. And this distance here is 10 times 12, which is 120, plus 10 is 130 inches. But I have a little bit of a problem, other than I just knocked over my cleaner. Right. I need the lengths of the legs of the triangle, and I don't have the leg on the right side. So I need to take this 130 and subtract off 65 inches, which just so happens to be 65. Now I have my right side leg is 65, my base leg is 108. What trig function am I going to use? The tangent. So second tangent 65 over 108. And before I push enter, what do we expect our answer to look like? No, not bigger than 180. Let's look at the side lengths. I have 108 here. I have a 65 here. What does that tell me about theta? less than 45, right? A lot less or a little bit less? Okay, let's see. Push enter. 31. So 14 less than, and it's moderately less. Yeah, yeah, that's the angle of theta. Let's do station 7 because it's a little bit different. Known distances. The ground is 5 feet 6 inches. What is that in inches? 5 times 12 is 60 plus 6 is 66. And the eyesight is 14.2. What is that in inches? 170. So that's 170 inches. And the eye height is 58 inches. What trig function are you going to use? Cosine. What did 58 do for the problem? Nothing. That's unneeded information in a cosine problem. So, oh, before I answer this, what would I expect my theta to be? Really big or really small? Bigger than 45 or less than 45? We do know. Well, how do these compare? Well, 66 is a lot smaller than 170. So we would expect the top angle to be, this angle should be really small, which means the other one should be big. So bigger than 45, but a lot bigger or a little bit bigger? Quite a bit bigger. So second, what do we decide? Cosine? 66 over 170. Is it 6? Oh, 67 is the answer, I see. So quite a bit bigger than 45. Because that other angle would be 22 degrees. All right, you have 6 more problems to do. They're not too bad. Make sure you show your work because it does have answers, I believe, right? Okay. Yeah, just if you label the triangle, that's work. Yep, yes, sir. Yeah.